So I finished entering Dragon's Tear, Richard Geller's book, into the PubML publishing tools. I have the menu closed. Here you can see it on the side, the sidebar. I'm just collapsing it here to save some space. And I'm going to now enter some content into this book. You can also see the edition notes that we put in here for PubML export. I'm going to edit the book, and that is going to take me to the table of contents. Now we have an empty table of contents. I'm going to put in a new text section, and it's going to open up the section editor. Now the first part of this book is an epigraph, and I happen to have this chapter, this section here in Microsoft Word. I'm going to highlight this text and copy it and move this aside. Now if I'm in visual mode and I paste this in, all looks fine, but when I go into text, which allows me to see the code, I get lots of extra styles and things that I don't need that I didn't realize I was copying from Word. I'm going to go into text mode first and then paste here. And now you can see I've got the line breaks between paragraphs, which is what WordPress looks for to recognize space between paragraphs. Now I can go into visual mode. Let's get rid of these three dots and put in this, and then I'm going to put no indent here and no indent here. This is my epigraph. I'm going to save this section. If I go back to the table of contents, you'll now see that I have this epigraph here. Let's add a couple of more text sections. This is section 1. Now I want those double line breaks here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go, let me make this a little bit smaller so that I can fit this video, and then I'm going to go to list matches in sidebar, and let me start this from scratch. I'm going to choose the paragraph mark, and I'm going to replace every paragraph mark with a double, let's try it again, double paragraph mark. Do a replace all. We can get rid of these extras at the bottom of the text that we don't need, but now you see I have my show invisibles on, and all my paragraphs have double line breaks. I'm going to hit select all and copy. Let me move this out of the way. Let me go into text. Let me paste this, and when I go back into visual mode, everything looks pretty good. Let's format this a little bit. The first thing is, this is the title. So I'm going to go to my styles menu and choose title. Now the very first paragraph of a section usually has no indent, so I'm going to use the no indent button. I'm going to make the T into a drop cap, and then I'm going to use this very first phrase, the man asleep. I'm going to make this small caps to transition from my drop cap into my regular body text. And then in front of the deserted house, I'm going to put a section ornament, which I chose a custom one in my styles menu. I get the default one here in the preview, but it will load. Let me copy this, paste it in as a section. I'm going to save my section, and then I'm going to go to a new text section. Let's go to this other section, the crooked cottage. I'm going to do my same find and replace. I want to replace every instance of a paragraph mark with 2 paragraph marks. I'm going to replace all. I'm going to get rid of the junk at the bottom. I'm going to select all. I'm going to copy. And now I'm going to go to text mode. I'm going to paste. Go back to visual mode. Let's make the crooked cottage a title. Styles. Headline. Let's make the first paragraph no indent. Let's make the first letter a drop cap. Let's make the first phrase small caps. And let's go ahead and put that ornament there. And we can scroll down. Now, there happens to be a letter in here. I'm going to go ahead and highlight this letter. It's a handwritten letter. And I'm going to use the handwriting typeface just here, the handwriting style, so that this gets included in the text and displays that way. I'm going to go ahead now and copy my title. This is Chapter 2, The Crooked Cottage. Let's put this here and save this section. It'll tell me that it's saved. And now I'm going to go back to the table of contents. And you see I've got my two pieces. Now, if I ever wanted to reorder these chapters, I could drag them and drop them. These are obviously, they need to be in this particular order. And now I'm going to go ahead and preview this book. We get the screen with the cover. I click, and I have the epigraph, which I'm going to make italic. And here is the deserted house. All my paragraphs looking pretty good. Everything formatting. And then here is the Crooked Cottage. And let's move into where we have that letter and see how that displays. And here it is. So I have the letter in there, and we're building the ebook. I'll close this up from here and continue on.